What's up, you guys? All right. Um, First of all, happy Saturday. I really hope that you guys had just the best, most interesting week ever. Let me tell you something about that male narc, dude, because I can only speak for them. I'm not a lesbian. If I was, then I could tell you a little something about the female narc. But I digress. All right. The male narc fucking hates women. They fucking hate us. I don't care how many kids they have, or have had, or marriages, or girlfriends, or if they have a sister, or a few of sisters, whatever. They fucking hate women. How do I know that? Well, let's get a quick story time in. Because I believe, I personally believe, so it doesn't have to be you guys, that shit comes directly from his mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not stop and cut off contact with his toxic, narcissistic mother, but in theory, and not even just in theory, in reality, he fucking hates her guts. In all actuality, he hates her guts. You hear them police sirens going on right now? That's probably confirmation of what I just said. Uh, Sorry about that, but welcome to DC. It's the city, the dirty city, DC. Anyway, so my ex mother-in-law, which is my ex narc, his mother, she she's a dark-skinned woman, dark-skinned black woman, and she, just fun fact about my ex mother-in-law, she actually would get Caucasian women's foundation, which we all know how light that is. It's actually too light sometimes for like white women, right? And she would rub that on her face and talk about how she wanted to be like Britney Spears, and she called all black people the N word, but with a hard ER on it, even though she was dark skinned, fat, tall, with box braids, fake hair, horsehair, box braids woven in her hair with a knot at the top, like in fucking Poetic Justice or some shit, that movie. Um, but even though she looked and sounded like a ghetto hood rat dumb bitch, she still considered every other black woman or person the N word with a hard ER on it. And she married a white man, right? And she like always talked about how like she was self-hating. She always talked about how black people were gross, even though she was like black as fuck, right? And all this shit. So, this brings me to my point though. So, my ex narc, after the discard, right? After the final discard, which ended up being a reverse discard on my behalf, ended up, he was having sex with as many white women as possible. Now, if that's your preference as a black man, that's on you. You know what I mean? No one gives a fuck, really. But it wasn't just a preference for him, it was a target for him. And the reason why he started having sex with insane amounts of white women is because that's what his mother glorified, right? And so, almost as a big fuck you to her, he was intentionally giving and infecting as many white women as possible with herpes and AIDS, right? Which he caught from his gay lover, and the AIDS from his gay lover, but he caught herpes from the prostitute that he cheated with after he just left the house. Anyway, so yeah, and he was purposefully hitting them up with like a double dose of infections, right? That you cannot get rid of. You cannot get rid of herpes, and you cannot get rid of AIDS. Sorry, but you can't, right? And so like he did that, and it's still, I'm pretty sure it's still doing that. But he was intentionally running through these white women and intentionally infecting them with things they can't get rid of. Again, AIDS, herpes, and like all the while really hating his mom, right? I mean, your mother and father, I mean, for women and men, right, are the first dose of what love is supposed to be like to you from the opposite sex. If you grew up with your dad and you're a female, that's what you see men as. If you grew up without your dad as a female, then you look at men in a different way. You know what I'm saying? As being absent or abusive or whatever. And then, like, same goes with men and their mothers. You know what I'm saying? And because that male narc hates the fucking shit out of his mother's stankin' guts, he wants to punish all women, especially the ones that she looks up to. If she like Beyonce, that narc would find a bunch of bitches that look like Beyonce and make sure to give them an STD or leave them with a pregnancy on their own, or marry them and ditch them. You know the rest. I mean, we already know what narcs do, but I just wanted to kind of touch base on that. I'm like, they hate women, and most of them honestly just want like, okay, we can go back to my ex-narc. Him and his, I mean, now that I know, boyfriend, right, that he posed as his best friend, they made a whole game out of it. Out of how many women each one could get, how many women each one could screw over, how pretty could they upgrade to and screw them over, and then they would come together and fuck each other because they were the real couple, right? They both hate women. Most male narcs hate the fuck out of women, and they're really either already fucking their so-called best friend, or they're banging some dude out there, or they're gay for pay, or, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying, they do hate women, and they will give you an STD on purpose. They will actually target you to do that shit with. This is kind of like a weird subject to talk about for me, because I had to dig into race and how there's self-hating races out there. And in his mother's case, she was sincerely super black as fuck and hates all black people. Her white husband actually calls her Uncle Ruckus as a joke that she enjoys. And if anyone knows who Uncle Ruckus is, if you've ever read the Boondocks comics or watched the cartoon anime series of the Boondocks, Uncle Ruckus is a self-hating black man. And he black as fuck. I mean, he looked dirty, black as fuck, all that shit, but he hates his own culture, right? And she trained him up to be like that. And he literally targeted a shitload of white women and infected them with diseases they can't get rid of just because his mother thinks white women are superior. And just because he thinks that women are all gross because all he saw was his mother cheating on his stepdad, his mother telling him and his brothers that white was right and black was whack, and I mean his mother popping pills and threatening to commit suicide, and his mother, being sexually like just off the charts promiscuous as fuck. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's no excuse. But that male narcissist, he almost, I want to say, I'm going to be as bold as to step out there and say, they treat all women the way they wish they could treat their mother. I think they're even gross enough and demonically possessed that they wish that they could fuck their mother and give their mother a disease and then kill her. Like on some American Psycho shit. If you've never seen American Psycho, I'm starting something called Narc Movie Mondays because I'm going to give you guys a movie to watch as a homework assignment, and we're going to, and it's all got like a very interesting narcissist in it. Sorry, you guys, all the motorcycle bitch dudes are out here showing off, but yet none of them have beautiful vehicles to take anybody on a date with. You just got to get on the back of a four-wheeler in the middle of the city. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to start one, and let's start right now, even though it's not Monday. The first movie shoot that you guys should probably watch. God, there's so many about stuff like that. But I would say, fuck a movie. Go watch an episode of the Boondocks. Just type Boondocks Uncle Ruckus. And we'll start off with that. She is that person. She's that lady. Anyway, Sorry for the long video. I know it's only like 9 minutes and something. Maybe it's going on 10 minutes, and it's kind of a rant, but I had to talk about that. I had to get that off my chest because maybe there's someone else out there in um, narc abuse recovery land that has experienced this type of like weirdness, because my ex-narc actually began to have like a specific type of victim. I mean, most narcs do, but not really. They kind of will fuck in anything that has money and will do what they want. But he developed like a sinister, psychopathic, like, you know, lust for any type of white woman. They could be old, they could be crippled, they could be deaf. I mean, he was like the Jeffrey Dahmer of just sex abuse, you know? So I think, yeah, and I could see where that directly stemmed from his mother's constant conversations to anybody who will listen about how black people sucked and some other shit. Anyway, alright, end of my rant. I will see you guys sometimes earlier this week, because Sunday is God's day. I'm going to stop doing videos on Sunday. That's not cool. It's God's day. So have a wonderful next week. I'm getting my kitten neutered, so that's going to be a wonderful trip back and forth. But either way, have a wonderful week, and I love you guys. And stay narc free and juicy. Alright.